Good morning and welcome back. Tyler's putting the shiny piece of plastic on the back of the combine that I smashed. And I'm going to work at putting the concaves in the combine. We'll show you what that's all about. We got to take the cover off, which is a lot easier on this one than the old combine. So this is what's a concave, or this is what you call a concave. It's concaved around the rotor. So these are small wire, these are big wire. See, I can stick my finger through here, these are tighter. This is for small grains, but now we're going into soybeans and corn. As you can see, the last thing was run through this combine was rye. There's a little bit of rye seed in here. This design has improved greatly over the old machine. The old machine had one piece that wrapped the whole way around, and these things weigh like 80 pounds. This combine has a frame here, this piece here, and essentially it only goes from the middle up. So I can by myself change these concaves out in like a short amount of time. So I'm gonna get the tools and get to it. Okay, in this case we got 18 millimeter. So what I'll do is break them all loose. And I'll just let the bolt in actually. So I'll show you, there's only 2 bolts holding each one. And what we'll do, I'll set everything over here out of the road. Now, what we do, see there's a hole, outer and inner hole, so we stick the lady slipper, or whatever you call it in your country. Pull that, and pinch it with my finger, drop it, just like that. Get all that straw packed in there. Okay, just like that, she's out. Now, I love the design on these because these holes go on those alignment bolt pin things, slides in, and then you lift it up, and then these bolts here work as a guide, so it rests over top. You slide it in, align that, lift it up, stick a punch or something through, drop your bolts, and you go. So the other combine, this piece wraps around the entire way, and it weighs a ton, and it's a 2-person job, and you can't fit behind the tire. So here you can see a side-by-side difference, large wire, small wire. So this is for small grains, this is for large grains. So what we're doing, and you only do the front two. So since this was last used in barley, wheat, rye, actually the last thing that was in here, as you can see, is rye seed. We're changing it out to get ready to start with soybeans and corn, our large grains. So obviously a soybean won't fit through that little crack. So anyway, this guy here, it's variable speed depending on the crop condition. So we set that, and we set this clearance with, there's an arm here. You can't see because it's dirty, but there's a gear, and essentially that lifts or lowers on this. So we can change that clearance of how tight that thrashing is. Between my hand, like where my hand is, between here and that concave. So what now happens, that's thrashing. You're gonna have some straw. You're gonna have this kind of thing where, if you look closely, there's no seeds in that. The seeds actually fell out due to the thrashing process. But now what you're gonna wind up with is something like this. If you look careful, there's seed in that, but there's a lot of junk that we don't want. And that's where we get to the actual cleaning. So we're separated. It's broken all that free from that head or that ear. This whole table, the whole way back, is shaking. And as you see, it looks like a mountain that drops off a cliff. And it's shaking, and it throws that up to the next one, up to the next one, up to the next one. While you're in that crop and it is flowing, you're gonna have a mat about this thick, like mulch. And every time that gets to shake, the dense things, if you throw some feathers and some rocks in a jar and shake it up, the rocks are going to fall to the bottom, and that's how this works. This is a poor analogy, but that's how it works. Your grain is going to hopefully be in the bottom while your straw is on the top and your lightweight things by the time you get to what's called the pre-sieve. So let me get my flashlight, show you the pre-sieve. It's essentially the first sieve. Those fingers are adjustable. They aim up or down, and you change that clearance depending on your crop, your seed size. So this whole thing's shaking, and as it gets to the back, you're already beginning that separation process by putting your lightweight things on the top, your grain on the bottom. Hits there, and that's your first chance for that grain to fall through. And then it goes to your upper sieve. There's 3 sieves: pre-sieve, upper, and shoe sieve. And I don't think I can adjust it with the key turned off, so it won't let me adjust. You can see this here, there's a little meter down here, and this is my gauge of how that's set. But as you can see, they're up, but if I angle them down, it closes that gap. So as that comes back, all your straw, your big pieces are going right out the back into the spinner. Up there, that flat piece, that spins, and that's coming out of the back of the rotor. So your big straw, things that don't fall through the rotor, gets thrown into the back as well. So that's your initial cleaning process up front.